Arsenal's new £70 million forward could arrive as early as January 2026. We're taking a look at Munoz, who is killing it at Crystal Palace right now, but has mentioned Manchester United as a dream destination for the future, plus Chelsea and Liverpool. A big potential incoming from Bayern Munich for Liverpool, and Chelsea prioritizing Adam Wharton, of all players, to add and to help move that midfield onto that next level. As ever, look, like, share, subscribe, hit that hype button. Can't wait to read your opinions back on these stories. Let's do this. The transfer window is a matter of weeks away. We're halfway through November. It's the international break, but the 1st of January is fast approaching. Clubs are already doing their due diligence and their background work. They're already looking into the possibility of new deals. And January is always an interesting month for transfers, because sometimes a team are very willing and happy to wait until the summer to sign one of their main targets. They don't want to overpay. But if there's the possibility of a rival signing that player, if there's the possibility of that team staying in the league or winning a league title or winning promotion, sometimes it triggers a knee-jerk reaction. Sometimes it triggers an opportunity to move forward. And we saw with João Gomez this week, the conversation about Man United going in January and loaning him. And there was a train of thought coming out of Wolves that if they are to get relegated, which is highly plausible at this point, the value of the player will drop. A lot of these individuals have relegation release clauses. So a loan with an option to buy now could make and or save them more money. So there's always those types of scenarios to remember. Never just look at it as January, hard to get deals done. No way it's going to happen. It's impossible. It's a very reductionist way to view the transfer window. But we've got some interesting stories to go through today. And I wanted to start off with one that I thought was really interesting, because I suppose, barring the Sunderland game, Arsenal have been nigh on perfect for the past 4 to 5 weeks. Winning every game, barely conceding shots on goal, let alone conceding goals, top of the league, joint top of the Champions League groups. What more do they really need to add? And I think that if you're a top club, and I do think that Arsenal right now have one of the best squads in Europe, will they become a great squad? So I will address this. On Tuesday, on Straight Facts, I spoke about them having one of the greatest squads in the world right now. And through debate, which is what we do, I've changed my stance on that slightly. And when I say change my stance, that's actually not accurate. I've changed the wording, the terminology that I use, which is they've got one of the best squads in the world at the minute. Whether they can become a great squad by winning the trophies is another conversation. And an interesting story has reared itself again, and that is regarding Antoine Semenyo, who we all know is an Arsenal fan. That is first and foremost, and important to remember, he is an Arsenal supporter. There are Liverpool links, there are Manchester United links. But this man, this player, has been phenomenal so far this season. And I think Arsenal's attack has been very good. Are there areas to improve? Yes. Is Semenyo, in my opinion, better than anybody they put on that left-hand side, maybe barring Eze? Again, the answer is yes. Now, I know straight away there will be this view of, but Terry, there'll be too many. There'll be too many players because Jesus is coming back, but they'll have Jesus and they'll have Noni and they'll have Martinelli and Eze. How and where does Semenyo fit in? And this is what I mean by just thinking outside the box a little bit. In my personal opinion, Gabriel will be gone by the summer. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. You've got the situation with Noni Madueke. I think Noni Madueke is the backup on the right-hand side, more so than starting on the left. So I think he's sort of third choice, second or third choice as things stand right now on the left-hand side anyway. Eze, yes, Odegaard's going to come back, but I think he's challenging for those central areas. He will cover on the left-hand side. But I think Arsenal will look at this, and I think Arsenal, maybe in the heart of hearts, are happy. So I'm just going to turn this light up a little bit. It's a little bit lower than I wanted it to be. I don't know why it's so low today. Let me just press this button. That's better. There we go. Arsenal are probably happy to wait until the summer to move for Semenyo as well. So people saying that there's already a lot of players in those positions, no way it can happen. There is logic to it. But I also look at it and go, 2 or 3 of these players, in my opinion, may not even be at the club come the end of next summer. And what's going to be intriguing about this January is that Liverpool are linked to Semenyo. Liverpool want Semenyo. Liverpool want to come in and take him. And why that is important to remember, why that is important to know is Arsenal may look at this and say, well, we have to move now. Otherwise, Liverpool might get him. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool spend more money in January. I know they're saying they're never going to have a big summer like they did again. They're not going to spend massive again. But let's see where their season is in 6 weeks' time. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Man United. It wouldn't surprise me if, Chelsea probably wouldn't do it. But it wouldn't surprise me if somebody goes, look, Semenyo's killing it. There's going to be a massive fight for him in the summer. Let's move now. So Arsenal could be pushed into doing this. He's an Arsenal fan. He wants to play for Arsenal. The release clause is around 70 million. I don't even think it's that expensive for a player as good as Semenyo is. But as ever, look, Arsenal fans, I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your opinions on this. He's a great age, 25 years old, going to turn 27 in the early part of January. 11 league goals last year, 13 in all comps, already on 6 league goals this campaign. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that story. Now, moving on from Arsenal, I want to speak on Man United because this is an interesting story that's come out of Colombia. Of course, it's the international break. Talking to the press, Daniel Munoz, who's been in fantastic form since he arrived in the UK from Genk to Palace last summer, has said these words. It would be a dream to play for one of these clubs, whether it's Barcelona, PSG, Real Madrid, or Manchester United. By the way, another moment just for football fans to remember that United have been crap, but we're in that category for most pros of where they'd like to play. I think I'm working towards that. Now, this is going to go down very badly with Palace fans, whether they want to say it publicly or whether it's just in their minds. Him saying I'm working towards that kind of move is going to hurt them because Palace are a very good team right now. He said, my focus is on Palace. We'll see when the winter transfer window gets closer. That, for me, is massive. Now, the only issue I have with this, I wish he was a left-back playing this well, because I think if United could bring in a left-back of his level to come in and deliver, it'd be amazing. Ahmad and Mbeumo have actually been playing very well together at the same time. But Ahmad has his defensive deficiencies, which Munoz, for me, improves on. So from that point of view and perspective, it may not be a priority signing, but I do look at it and think, yes, please. Now, I don't know about you. You might look at it and go, no, we don't need it. We've got enough there already. But I can't help but look at that and just think to myself, it feels good to me. I don't know about you, but it just feels good to me. I could be wrong. I want your views on it, because I'm just checking something here. I want to just compare him to Ahmad so far this season. But did Ahmad even come up as a wing back? He does here. He does it as a fullback. If you look at it, like the one thing Ahmad has over him is the carrying. Ahmad's carrying of the ball is actually in the top 94 percentile in Europe. Much lower, only in the 8th percentile for Munoz. But from the defensive side, again, but he gets a lot more expected assists. He's better at crossing the ball into the box, better aerially, better defensive duels, much better with possession one. So all of the defensive areas, there's an improvement. And the first thing that comes into my mind is competition for places. The first thing that comes into my mind is a dichotomy. Sometimes you want to, Ahmad starts in the 10, you move him into a wing back position later. Sometimes the other way around, and we're putting Delo in that position. We're putting Maz in that position, who have no real threat going forward. And I look at it and just think it's an extra tool that we could use. He's also very capable of playing centre back as well. And a lot of people don't know that about Daniel Munoz. He can play in that position as well at centre back. And because we play with a back three, so he's played right midfield 83 times in his life, went right back 187 times. He has played centre back and defensive midfielder 30 odd times as a combination. So in a back three, there is a possibility even to play in the back right position. He can play right back if we ever go to a four at the back. He can do the attacking element too. I like it. Will Man United be the club to get him? I'm not saying we will. I'm just saying he's mentioned our name. I like it. What do you think? I really would love to get your views and your opinions on that in our comment section below. Now, moving on to Liverpool. I thought this was a really interesting link, but it's one where I think they should stay clear of it. Just my personal opinion. It says here, according to reports in Germany, Liverpool are interested in Bayern Munich and German forward Serge Gnabry, who is out of contract at the end of the season. Gnabry's signing would be considered a doubling down on their move for Florian Wirtz, who is a player who thrives with pace in and around him. Juve are also interested in him. And this is where people are probably going to disagree with me. When I think about Serge Gnabry, I'm not saying he's a bad football player. I feel underwhelming. I know he scored. He's had a good year on GA this year in the league in Germany. I think it's 7 or 8 GA in the opening sort of 9-10 games of the season that he's played. I understand that. And I know a few years ago, maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago, he had like a massive season where there was lots of goals and there was lots of assists. I just feel that if you're going, I know he would be a free transfer, but I just feel that if you're going to go to Bayern Munich and walk away with a wide player, you go to Bayern Munich and you pick up Elise, or you break the bank for Elise. And that big season by Gnabry, by the way, where he got 23 goals in all comps, was in the 1920 season. He did get 17 back-to-back in the between 2021 and 2023. But since then, kind of just on a goals level, he's not got above 7 goals in the last 3 years. There's also the injury issues to look at. Only 10 games played in the league in the 23-24 season, 27 last year. Good start this year, but let's see what happens with that clear injury issues that he has. I just look at this one, and again, Liverpool fans might shoot me down. Football fans might go, "You're wrong here, Terry. He's an amazing talent." I think he's a very good player. But I look at the volume of injuries. I look at the age at 30. I look at the fact that I feel like his most prolific days are behind him. I think he's going to want a big salary. This, for me, just feels like a move that Liverpool should stay away from. I could be wrong. I could be right. Let me know in the comments section below. And the final story that I want to speak on today is about Adam Wharton. And this, I'll read you the story here. It says that Chelsea have made Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton one of their priority targets. The England international is also admired by Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, fucking everybody else, basically. But Chelsea are currently seen as the front runners. Wharton is tied to Palace until summer of 2029, so a long way to go on that contract, and valued at around 60 million, meaning any deal could reach close to 100 million. And the first thing that stood out in my mind is, I think Chelsea have got to look beyond Lavia. They have to. The injuries are too much of a concern. And I'm still not sure. I'm going to use Chelsea Don that comes on our channels as a barometer here, not the conclusion. It wasn't that long ago that he was asking for Santos to replace Enzo Fernandez in his starting 11. And I think there's something in that. If all their midfielders are fit, you know who's playing in the attacking midfield, or it's going to be Palmer. If Chelsea fans could pick like their 4-3, if they could pick their team now, okay? If you look at the way they play, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whichever iteration of that you want to give it, they would, if everybody was fit, I think Chelsea fans, from a midfield perspective, upwards go Caicedo, Lavia, and Palmer, Esteval on the right, probably gonna go with I can't remember his name. Garnacho on the left, and we know, and it's gonna be one of João Pedro or Delap starting as their main striker. That's what they're gonna do. If they go, mean, I'm just looking at the way they set up in their last game. I don't know why it's taking so long to load on this screen in front of me. It's actually quite annoying. My internet's really fast, but my computer's really slow today. I don't know why it does that. So, they go 4-3-3, but they go 4-2-3-1 again with Palmer out. What are they going to do? Obviously, some might want Pedro Neto in the 10 and Palmer out on the... So it's either going to be that, or in a 4-2-3-1, you might put Palmer on the right, you might put Pedro Neto in the 10 with Delap as the striker, and again, it'll be probably Garnacho out on the left-hand side. The midfield, I still think most Chelsea fans, if fully fit, would pick Lavia and Caicedo. So with Lavia needing to be moved on most likely because of injuries, I get why Wharton would be the guy. Very different type of midfield player to Caicedo that could complement each other well. His passing range is absolutely amazing. So I get this link. This link makes absolutely perfect sense for Chelsea. Perfect sense. And he's a fantastic player. He doesn't have the injury issues that Lavia has. His passing range is absolutely amazing. I just think when you look at him overall, and I was looking at this earlier on today. If you look at like Wharton, then you look at Caicedo. If you look at the kind of the percentiles of where they fit, if you look at the key attributes of midfielders, both of them very high in defensive duels, both good progressive passers. Wharton creates a lot more key passes. Great at the forward passing, both of them. Forward pass completion. Carrying is probably the only area where you say neither are great carriers. But again, that's probably where you would go to give that ball to Pedro, give that ball to Palmer, get them to carry that ball forward. They've got fullbacks that can carry the ball forward. So they've got players to do that. But I just look at it and it's so evenly and smoothly balanced. Now, I know what's going to happen. Some people are going to go crazy and go, why are you slagging off Enzo? I'm not slagging off Enzo. And Enzo is also very, very good. But I still think there's an element, and maybe it's not about replacing Enzo in the short term. Maybe it's about adding that competition like Lavia was meant to bring in, but has never been able to give the other two midfield players because he's always injured. So it could be that side as well. But look, I'd love your thoughts. I'd love your opinions on these transfer stories in the comments section below. Until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Peace.